Welcome to the Prop Market. I'm your host, the Prop King, and today I have my 2024 college football season win totals, SEC edition. Now, I know everybody is interested in the SEC. Not everybody loves it. Some people hate it, but whether you love it or hate it, you're interested in the SEC football conference. It's the biggest, baddest conference around right now. So, with all that being said, I have three great picks for you today. And it was hard to narrow it down because the SEC has so many teams and so many options. So I'll also give you some of my leans as well. So not just the picks I'm actually making, but some of the leans that I also have with the SEC. Because I mean, there's so many teams, it was hard to narrow it down to three. But I did get it down to my three top picks. And just to give you an idea of what I focus on when I look at season win totals, obviously I always look at the talent. Okay, I also look at the schedule, which is very important, and then I look at what Vegas line total they have for each team. Now, depends on which team it is, on which order the most important one is. So not all of them does it go one, two, three. Sometimes it's different. You'll see with the team I picked today, the line, the total, and the schedule are more important than the talent. So that happens as well. So we just kind of got to make sure you're kind of like making the best decision. Now, I like making season totals because it gives you an opportunity as the season goes on. They also have something to root for. Also, it's an investment. You have money towards the end, and the lines aren't as sharp. So, as I've always kind of said, I love the season totals. It gives you a great opportunity. I'll talk more about how we make these picks, but as we get going, without further ado, here goes my first pick for today, and it's the Ole Miss Rebels. As you saw, Lane Kiffin was on your screen. Lane Kiffin, they went 10-2 last year. And they also had a conference record of 6-2. So they did pretty good. 10-2, 6-2, not bad at all. The win total line is 9.5. So that's a high total for a team, but you will see why I feel fully confident with this. Rebels important facts. Returning quarterback Jackson Dart. So Jackson Dart's returning. He had a great year last year. 3,369 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So he really took care of the football. He didn't have a lot of bad plays. I really like the way he's coming back. You feel like he's improved over the summer as well. He's been working to get better. So he's not stagnant on how well his season was last year. And behind him, he has a really, really talented running back, Bentley, who's coming back. And then they also have Diggs, the leading rusher from LSU, is coming to him, and Parrish from Miami. So you see they have three really, really good running backs coming in. Two that were like the best running backs at other really good schools at LSU and Miami. And Bentley was good for them last year. He's a quick, fast back. So the running back room is very, very strong, along with a strong wide receiver room. You look at Trey Harris, 1,000 yards. Watkins and Wales from Watkins coming from Ole Miss, and Wales coming from South Carolina, who I feel like was their best receiver. So they've taken Wales, the best receiver South Carolina has, is also with them. So their wide receiver room is very strong. And now you look at O linemen, three starters back and four starters from the portal. So they got three starters on their own team, and they picked up four starters from other places that started other places. So, like I said, you see the veteran team on both sides of the football. You see there's veteran leaders everywhere. They got guys that are coming in that were starters where they previously were, and now they're going to have to compete to be starters at Ole Miss. So the talent level and the experience level is very high. I also see defense having a great season as they did there last year. They came off a great season. They have Walter Nolan from Texas A&M, Princely, and Ivy. All these guys coming in. Some guys are staying, but like I said, they once again went into the portal and got a starter, probably one of Texas A&M's best defensive linemen. Linebackers, Chris Paul from Arkansas, Raymond Collins, JUCO recruit that they picked up, who's got a lot of experience, but we'll see how he does on this higher level. But he was a number one JUCO recruit. So once again, into the portal, getting guys coming in. Um, They did so much in the portal. They got also at their safety, they got Sean Collins and Trey Washington who returning. And a cornerback that for their cornerback position, uh, they lost a lot to the pros, but they got Amos from Alabama, a starter from Alabama, Hamilton, a starter from Houston. So, like I said, just a very veteran team. You see why I like this team so much. Now let's get to their schedule. First, they're starting off with Furman. I have that as a win. Middle Tennessee, another win. Wake Forest is going to struggle this year, another win. Georgia Southern, a win. Kentucky, I'm not too high on Kentucky, but you see, we started off 4-0 without them even really having to deal with anything. Kentucky, I think Kentucky's going to be okay, but I don't think they're ready to take that next step and be on Ole Miss level talent wise. South Carolina is going to take a step back, losing Spencer Rattler, and they're not going to be as good as they had been previously. I have it a toss up at LSU because it's at LSU. That's the reason you're getting the toss up there. Uh, I got a toss up also with Oklahoma. Oklahoma has a chance to be better than some people think. Once again, they're a team that's coming in with a new quarterback, but the fact that they pushed out the other quarterback for this guy, they must see something in him. They've recruited okay. I think this is more an Ole Miss, and if I have a toss up or a T, that means I just kind of I'm going both ways. I don't know which one's gonna win. But if I do have it as a toss up, I believe Ole Miss has a better chance to win than lose. So we're gonna go with Arkansas with a win. Georgia, I'm going to take that as a loss for them, even though it's going to be closer than people think. Florida, I have them as a win, and Mississippi State, they're going to out talent those last two teams for 2 wins. I have their total at 10. I really like this total, and it's over 9.5. But even you look at those two toss-up games, I kind of have them winning one of those games for sure. So that means it's going to at least put us at 10. With all that being said, I like their over 9.5 wins. Now, if this number creeps up any higher, I wouldn't go for it. You might be able to find it at 9 somewhere, and that would be even a bargain. They do have it 9 at some sports books, so go out and look for that number if you can find it. The next team I have is a team that a lot of people are not high on. There's kind of been slighting this team, and that's the Alabama Crimson Tide. Okay, head coach Kalen DeBoer coming in from Washington. He had a great season last year. They're 12-2 in the conference last year. I mean, 12-2 record, conference record 8-0. So they're not bumming it. This team is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Their win total line is also at 9.5. So it's a very high win total. But if you're noticing about some of these SEC teams, if you go through some of their schedules, a lot of the top dogs don't play each other. Not all of them. It seems like Georgia plays everybody, but not a lot of the top dogs are playing everyone. So last year, they had the 58 total offense, and that's not the best. But they do have their returning starting quarterback Jalen Milroe coming back. I see him getting better and better. He played well at times. He played bad at others. He's really good at throwing the deep ball, not so good at throwing the intermediate passes. So that's what he should have been working on. I think he needs to use his feet a little bit more. He doesn't use his feet as much as he should. I would like to see him using his feet and getting out of the pocket and making plays that way, as well as throwing the football and getting better at that. Behind him, he has some returners coming back and running back. He has Justice Hayes and Jam Miller. So two really good backs. And you know Alabama, man, they recruit so well. These guys are former 5 and 4 stars coming right back up. And they have a very strong and experienced offensive line. So the veteran offensive line is going to make it very good for them. They have returners coming in. And so you look at they have Washington, a strong. They have a Washington transfer that came in. This offensive line did give up 49 sacks last year, but they have Booker and Roberts and Proctor all coming back, and so I really like this offensive line. Although it struggled last year, some of it was Milroe's fault for holding the football. Same thing as Shedeur Sanders, and we went over that with the Big 12. Sometimes these guys hold the football, which makes it hard on the offensive line. We look at the receiver group. This is where it's going to be a super question mark. Uh, they lost their top two receivers, Bond and Burton. It's going to be a stretch. They have a 5-star Ryan Williams coming in. He may start. The wide receiver room is not full. The cupboard's not full. For whatever reason, they don't have many high name receivers. Now it's Alabama. Let's be honest. There's got to be some guys there that can play. And just like every other year, I'm sure that person's going to come up and show themselves. So I'm not 100% concerned, but I will say they don't have a lot of big name receivers coming back. And they didn't get any in the transfer portal either. They did bring in a guy from Washington, but he wasn't the top one of the top receivers they had either. Now the defense, they're bringing in Womack. He was a head coach of South Alabama. So you're bringing in a head coach to be your defense coordinator, which is always should be a good thing. The defense will be mainly there to stop the run. His scheme's a little bit easier, so they won't have to think too much. I like people to play fast, play fast if you think slower. So some of these guys are younger. So maybe if they play faster, they won't have to think as much. You look at the Damani Jones coming in from USC as a cornerback. That's going to help him more as a safety. He's in fifth year. He's a fifth-year player. And Campbell, I think he might be this best player on defense. Uh, all the starters on their defense are juniors or older, so that does bode well. That means some of these guys they're not bad. They just haven't had their opportunity yet because you're at Alabama. So there was a 5-star ahead of you. There was a first-round draft pick ahead of you. There's a second-round draft pick. But the fact that they don't have any young, inexperienced players coming in kind of lets me know that this team is defensively going to be better than what people believe. It's just these names don't jump off the page at you, but they might jump off the page at you maybe in November, as things have went on, you realize, oh, this guy's a stud. He's been a stud. He just was behind another stud. So that's why I'm not too worried about Alabama's defense. Now let's look at their schedule. Western Kentucky win. South Alabama win. Wisconsin toss up. Here it is. Wisconsin playing in a different environment. We all know how those Wisconsin fans can get. It can be also a time where they're looking at Georgia, maybe a look ahead a little bit, but Wisconsin's going to be a tough game for them. Going into this Georgia game, I have it as a toss up. So you might be wondering, do I think Alabama's going to win? I think they have an opportunity. I think it's going to be closer than what people think. Now they're going to play Vandy. Okay, that's going to be a win. South Carolina is going to be a win. At Tennessee, I have Alabama beating Tennessee. I have to see a little bit more of this quarterback coming in and see how he's going. But for right now, I just believe Tennessee has lost a lot. They've had a good run. I just don't think they'll be able to stay with the Crimson Tide, especially with a freshman first-year quarterback coming in. Although he played in the bowl game, he's still, I'm not too sold on him yet. Now, Missouri, I have it as a win, although I think they have the best receiver in football. I don't know if they can get this done, especially with Alabama playing them at home. LSU, another big game. I see LSU, at LSU. LSU has a lot of games at home, big games at home. It's Death Valley. I have it as a toss-up. Mercer is going to be a win. At Oklahoma, that's going to be another tough game. On the road, different environment. I think Oklahoma doesn't have the size in the trenches to stay with Alabama. So I have Alabama winning that game. And then last game against Auburn, it was too close last year. I think Alabama pounds them this year. Roll Tide in that game for sure. I think Auburn is going to kind of take it on the chin. Although they're always going to play very hard versus this team. So with that, I have my number at 10.5. So I like Alabama Crimson Tide over 9.5 wins. And my next pick, I bet you didn't have this on your bingo card. It's the Vanderbilt Commodores, okay? Head coach Clark Lay, record 2-10 last year, conference record 0-8. But here's the thing. I told you there's different things we look at. and I'm looking at the win total at 2.5. That's the second thing I'm looking at. And we're going to look at the number one thing, which is the schedule. So I'm not going to go over the players and the talent. I'm not going to sit here and act like Vanderbilt has all this talent and that's why I'm making this pick. This pick is based on them being an SEC football team. They do have a transfer quarterback, Diego Pivia. They also have another quarterback that's played Nate Johnson, who might compete for that job. So we don't know who's going to win that job, but whoever wins that job, they should be able to get done what we need done. CJ Taylor is Vandy's best player, all around stud, great defensive player, can play him anywhere. And here's the thing: they play two teams with power rankings in the hundreds, and the other team is not even a Division 1A school. So we got a Division 2A school that they're playing also. So we're gonna get to the schedule, and it's gonna make sense why this 2.5 just doesn't add up to me. So they got Virginia Tech. That's gonna be a loss. Alcorn State should be a win. Georgia State, one of the teams in the over the 100, I think, rankings. It's got to be Georgia State, way over the 100 rankings. It's got to be a win. They have to win that game. It's at Georgia State. They should be able to win that game. They're an SEC team. Georgia State's not even picked to win their conference, and they're in a way smaller conference. Missouri, I got that as a loss. Alabama, loss. Kentucky, a loss. Ball State, another team that's rankings is very low, not picked to win their conference, not picked to win anything in their conference, have lost a lot of their talent to the portal. The good players they did have transferred out, a lot of them. I like Vanderbilt over Ball State. Texas, loss. Auburn, it's a loss. South Carolina, now that could be a toss up. I'm not a high on South Carolina. That could be a game that Vanderbilt actually steals. LSU, loss, and Tennessee, loss. So you see, I have their losses right there. There's some teams that I just don't see them being able to beat. So I got their win total at 3. Just beat those 3 teams that you're supposed to beat. That's all you have to do. And I think they can do it. I feel like they can do it. There's no way they shouldn't be able to do that. So I'm not spending too much time on this Vanderbilt. You see this schedule and the win total is why I love Vanderbilt in this pick here. And you may disagree. If you disagree with me, go ahead and put stuff in the comments. If you have your best pick for the SEC, go ahead and put that in the comments as well, because I like to hear, what you guys think as well. So with that being said, I got them over 2.5 wins for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Let's get to my other college football content. I have Big 12, ACC. I'm gonna also have another. I have the Big 10 that you can also watch. You go to my channel. Please go to my channel and subscribe, like the videos. Once again, I'm trying to get my subscriptions up to about 300 so I continue to do videos throughout the year. So if you're a person watching my videos, and go ahead and hit the subscribe button, especially if you're watching them regularly, because I need that to kind of know, okay, this is working out. This is what people are doing. This is people are watching. People did a really good job of watching my videos. I just need those subscriptions to come up as well. And thank you for continuing to like and watch the videos, because it has been going really well. I'm starting off, and you're gonna see 9 out of 10 last year on season total picks, and I'll be your tour guide throughout the college football season. You can keep what you like and leave what you don't. So let's go ahead and go have a couple SEC gold picks for you at the end. Let's go ahead and throw out. I really like Georgia, even though I don't have them on here over 10.5 wins. I don't see them, even though they have a tough schedule. I think they're the best team in college football, so I got them over 10.5 wins. I love that bet right there. Another pick that is kind of intriguing. I may think about playing the Texas under. Okay, the Texas under. I don't think they're going to get to their number. I know unders aren't fun, and I just have to say Texas under 10.5 if it's still there. I will go ahead and smash that under if you can. So those are 2 bonus picks I'm giving you for the SEC. And like I always say, let's cash. Let's have a great day.